In this day and age, whether we are old or young, every one of us consumes media. Be it through movies, TV shows, or even social media, media plays a vital role in our lives, as through it, we filmmakers, cinematographers, directors, and content creators help to share and tell a story. As cinematographers, our job is to tell a visual story through running frames, which makes us different from videographers. You may agree with me or not, but here are some of the steps that may help you to shoot like a cinematographer. Whether or not you are buying a camera or renting a camera, a perfect camera plays a vital role in pre-production. As in pre-production, you're running against time. There are a lot of cameras from different brands on the market, such as Canon, Sony, Nikon, Fujifilm, and even Red digital cameras. So what is a perfect camera, you may ask? Well, there is no perfect camera. A perfect camera is a camera which you're comfortable using without facing any problem. Though you may be familiar with a particular camera ecosystem, but depending upon the type of shoot you're going to be doing, you need to rent or get yourself a camera accordingly. And if you're filming a cheap-end project such as documentaries, interviews, etc., then of course, a Canon EOS R or a Sony a7 III will do the work. And lastly, budget also plays a vital role because it allows you to rent more or rent less. After getting your hands on the camera, the second most important gear to get is the lens, as is the only way your camera will be able to see, just like we are able to see through our eyes. The quality of the lens that you will get also matters, as if you will pair a cheap lens with an expensive camera body, the output from that particular set will be not as good as if you will pair it with the expensive piece of lens. As more expensive the lens is, the superior the glass quality of the lens is going to be, and vice versa. There are three types of lens out there on the market. Number one being the cine lens, which are used to film short films, movies, and commercials which have higher budget. Number two being the zoom lens. The zoom lens are typically used when filming live events such as weddings, seminar, concerts, and many more. Now moving on to the next, what we have is the prime lens. Prime lens have fixed focal length and is typically used for filming interviews, documentaries, and many more. Getting your hands on the camera at least a day prior to the day of shoot will help you a lot. You can film a lot of test shots with it. Making yourself familiar with the camera system helps a lot, as on the set you are always running against time. Cameras such as the FX30, FX3 and the FX series have what's known as 3D LUT built in. This allows the cinematographer to load the LUT directly on the camera. And some cameras such as the EOS R6 Mark II that I own have built-in features such as focus peaking, zebras, and false colors that helps to gain accurate exposures. It is a different topic and it is at a higher level. We'll again come back to this particular topic later in the video, so I recommend you stick towards the end because you don't want to miss the end. And if you enjoy watching this filmmaking related content, consider subscribing as it helps a lot. It's a cherry on top. As with light, it adds life to your videos. You can use some natural light to film your videos, or you can also use some artificial source of light. Right now I'm using artificial source of light to make myself visible. A proper lighting helps to create an atmosphere in your videos, such as in the Conjuring series. As the series is horror, the set was created using very minimum number of light. With the addition of proper color grading in the post, it really helped to sell the effect and the atmosphere of horror and thriller.
She's standing in her.
The lighting can say a lot about movies. As with the help of light, the viewer can easily tell whether the movie is based upon horror, thriller, happy, romantic. As they say, big production house spend most of their time building the set with proper lighting rather than filming. Now, lighting is a huge subject to be talked about in this video and will be talked about in the future video. If you are filming a short film or anything cinematic, then you might have heard it, film at 24 frames per second. Some cameras have 23.976, which is equivalent to 24 frames per second. 24 frames per second is an industry standard as it provides us with a natural motion blur. In USA and other countries, they use 24 frames per second, and in UK and some other countries, they use 25 frames per second. Now you may ask, why not use 60 frames per second or 120 frames per second? The answer is simple. It is great when you want to slow down the footage in the post. I suggest that you pre-plan the shots which you want to be in slow motion and film accordingly. You may also ask, what about 30 frames per second? It is simple. 30 frames per second are used by TV productions and social media, as the image they telecast is always over-sharpened and therefore cannot be termed as cinematic. Now, framing your shot is just like icing on the cake. It makes the cake look beautiful, and so does a proper framing of the shot makes the shot beautiful and pop out. Framing camera angles provide us with perspective. In simple words, POV shot about a character helps the viewer build an emotional connection with the protagonist or antagonist. Having angles also delivers multiple emotions, such as a wide shot with the talent sitting on the side of the frame gives us a feeling of loneliness and helplessness. Now, if we use a Dutch angle, it might give us a feeling that something isn't right or something is about to go wrong. Many MCU movies and other movies such as Batman and Mission Impossible use these Dutch angles, as these Dutch angles deliver the feeling of uneasiness to the viewer. Lastly, with the help of properly executed shots, it helps in editing, as it makes the work for the editor a lot easier and faster. If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, as I make videos related to filmmaking, breaking down stuff for you all to understand, learn and enjoy watching. So that's it for me. I'll see you in the next one.